I'm Miss Katie. Welcome to Heritage Ways. Today I want to show you how I can a product. I have this on my shelf in my pantry downstairs, and it is a convenience product for me. I know what is in it and what is not in it and how it's been prepared, how old it is, and all that kind of thing. So that for me is a benefit. This is something that many of y'all have asked me. I've shown you pictures and reels and stories and stuff on Instagram and also here on YouTube. And many of you have asked me, please tell me how you do this. Well, today we're going to talk about and we're going to can milk. This can be done with this raw milk that I have, or if you have pasteurized, homogenized milk. I have friends who also do this with heavy cream. I have not done that yet. So I do want to show you how I do that process. It is not hard at all. It takes a longer time. I'll explain why, but it is not difficult. So stay tuned and let's can some milk. Okay, I do want to mention, because I feel like I need to mention, that this is not an Alphabet Agency approved method. So if you're concerned with how the government thinks you ought to prepare your food and consume it, then you probably do not want to can milk in this way. I can't help but say, if you are concerned with how that agency, an institution, organization, whatever, wants you to consume and what to consume, then you know, they're going to tell you certain carcinogens that have been banned in other countries because obviously they cause cancer. They are permitted here. I don't really want to have a conversation about what they allow versus what is actually nutritionally good and traditional food. So, you know, they allow a lot of things, encourage us to consume and inject and so forth. A lot of substances that are known toxins and carcinogens. So, you know, do your own research, make your own choices. It's your kitchen. This is my kitchen, and this is how I do this. I have already shared on Patreon how I can milk. I shared that a month or two ago, and I shared it there just simply so that I wouldn't be getting into conversations with folks about what certain Alphabet agencies approve and disapprove of. But I've had so many people to ask me, so let's just jump in. And again, use your own caution and use your own common sense, because after all, that's why God gave it to us. All right, I have everything at a cool temperature, not hot temperature. That's my jars. They came out of the dishwasher about, 20 minutes ago maybe. So they're sanitized. I have checked my jars and there are no kinks or anything going on in the jars, mouths of the jars. I am using Superb canning lids. These are canning lids. To my knowledge, they are the only ones made in the USA. There are a couple other companies that want you to believe they are by the way they've termed their name and so forth, but they are not. I've contacted the companies, and for real, they are made overseas. And so I'm using Superb. I like these for several reasons. Let me just go over this real quickly. And there is a certain way, a secret way, if you will, that you must use these for success. There's only 2 left in here because I've used the whole box. These came out of the shortage. The idea for these from the Superb Industries right down the road from me in Sugar Creek, Ohio, deep in Amish country, down there, tourist Amish country. They started making these 2 years ago. I've talked with the engineer, creator of these, and I work with him, giving him feedback and so forth. Mr. Patient loves that they have them made in the USA symbol on them. And they even have a scripture when you open it up, Matthew 4:4. It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. So I have met these folks. They are God-honoring folks. I appreciate them and their philosophy and their business model. So the lids themselves have a blue seal, the blue gasket material, if you will, And that's how one way you can tell the difference from the others. The more recent models have the word superb on them, but mine are earlier models, or not models, but manufactured earlier in the process a year or so ago, so they don't have that on them. But so it is more sealing material. And I tell you what, pretty soon, I hope, I'm going to be bringing you some more information on the science of why they are better lids. But I will tell you that, I mean, they're thicker. You can feel when you're holding them versus, say, any other lid that's thin. And they have more of a definite, not the ping as much as a thud almost. And you know for sure that your jars are sealed when you hear that. And so we'll hear that at the end of the canning process. Okay, so I just have these in, basically they were warm just to soften the seals just slightly, but now it's just above cool water. So we're okay there. And then I've got the rings here, and then our clean jars. Now I need my funnel, and that's it. So what we have, let me show you my canner situation first before we go any further. Okay, today I'm using my Presto canner, and I do have the tray in the bottom because you don't want jars to touch the bottom. You could put a towel in there if you don't have the tray. And now remember, this is different from canning in other ways. I've showed you how to can many other things, and this is going to be a different, and you'll see why, because we're not going to heat everything up first. So I want to have 2 inches of water because this is per my manufacturer's directions, and that is roughly, for me, that's roughly a gallon of water. So I'll let this settle down, and then I just keep this in my kitchen drawer just to measure. And yes, I'm going to need just a little bit more, maybe 2 cups more. I'm adding cool water. If I was going to can something else, I would probably add warm water and then go ahead and turn the canner on, because everything would need to be at the same temp, which is the same deal here. It's the same situation here as well. I want everything at the same temp, and that temp is cool. So my milk is cool, my jars are cool, my water's cool, everything's cool. All right, we got a little bit, just roughly over 2 inches, but we're good there, and we're not going to turn that on. And when I fill my jars, I'm going to put them in there, the cool milk, cool to cold, cool milk in the cool jars, in the cool water, and then we'll go from there. All right, and I just have my milk. Now, some folks I know, they skim the milk. They skim the milk, or they take some cream off. We have taken some cream off that we used in our coffee, but I didn't purposely make sure all my cream was off. And I'm going to show you, when I get these in the canner, I'll go ahead and show you some jars that I have. I think I have one up here. And I'll show you what it looks like that I canned a week or so ago. But basically, all we're doing here is just fill into the neck of the jar. This is a very unique way to can something. I've never canned something like this before. But I will tell you that I've had success, and I've done this about, well, I never canned it before this summer, I should say that. But I've canned it about 4 or 5 times this summer. And, shoe fly. And this is, it's worked every time. Get some more milk here. And just a very, very small cream line. That, start over here. I may spill, hope not. There we go. I will say this milk is It's the fresher the better, but if you're using store milk, you don't know how old that is and what preservatives they put in it. But this particular milk, Friday, it's 4 days old. No, 3 days old. So, as fresh as you can get. I put a little too much in there. I'm definitely going to have to wipe my rims. I'm not running the debubbler around it because it's a liquid, and I guess I could, but I don't always. I have 8 jars because I'm thinking that 8 smallmouth pint will fit in this canner. So right now I'm going to just wipe all the rims and get that milk off that I spilled. I don't use vinegar because vinegar, I have learned recently, actually will break down the seals of your lids of any kind of seals, any brand, and could cause them to come unsealed in your pantry. All right, and I'm just putting the Superb lids, wide mouth lids. They do carry wide and narrow. Wide and narrow. I'm putting these narrow. I think I said wide. Putting these narrow lids on here. And you know what? We are Layman's. Heritage Ways is a Layman's partner, Layman's affiliate. And so what I'll do is I will put that Layman's affiliate link down below so you can try these lids as well. Here is the secret. Here's what I want you to know. I talked about this in the watermelon pickles video, so I can't talk about it enough because it is vital. If you put, now most of us are used to, tight, not tight kind of thing, or hand tight, or however we say it. Well, if you do that with these, you can have several problems. One is that you could have them to pop off in the canner. I have heard that from a family member, and sure enough, she put them on tight, and I contacted the company again on that specific issue, and they said, well, that's why. So you use the 3-finger method. It even talks about it and shows it here on the box. So you use the 3-finger method. That noise is my bread machine in the back. So the 3-finger method, because these aren't going to, it's going to, if you're using all your fingers, you're going to give it more torque, more strength. But the 3-finger method, and you literally put it on just until it holds the lid. Just until it holds the lid in place, okay? And then, again, just until it holds the lid in place. And this is how we're going to proceed with all the jars. It'll be to the point where you think, wait, is that even going to work? Am I doing that right? Then you probably are. You don't need the jar lifters because nothing's hot. This is really good to have, you know what? Oh my, I could have put one more in there. All right, now I have, it might float around, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay, it might float around. It's okay. So I have 9 pints. So what we're going to do now is to put the lid on. Remember, the heat's not on yet. Oh, I've got it on backwards. I need to turn it around. Why would I want to have canned milk? Well, if I run out of milk, if I need some for a recipe to cook with, I'm going to show you one canned jar here in a minute. All right, now what I want to do, and this will take a while. It could take up to an hour almost, 40 to 60 minutes. So don't despair, just know that. You saw how easy it was. Now, you might have the, this is the weight that goes on there. You might have the dial gauge. I think that's what they call it. I talked to a fellow the other day, a Presto representative, and he said he actually likes this one better than the one with the numbers on it. What do you call that? The weighted gauge, the jiggler thing. He likes this one actually better. And this is just what I'm familiar with. So what we're going to do is we want to bring this up to temp slowly. That's the key, slowly. So actually I'm going to turn this, I have a gas stove. I'm going to turn it in between low and medium. Maybe even 1 dot closer to low for now. And then I might come back in a little bit and move it 1 dot more. But it's going to be slowly, like I said, an hour. And then what I'm looking for is my steam to escape. Full steam ahead. Full steam to escape for 10 solid minutes. Okay. And then after that has happened, I will come over and I will put my weight on here. And then I'm going to talk to you about our pressure amount and our timing. So for now, we are just slowly. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to be doing other things. I do not have to watch it. Just be aware when the steam starts coming up and time that for 10 good minutes. All right, I do want to show you. These are from last time I canned. I had a slight malfunction in my canner itself to where it was, has nothing to do with what I've taught you, but it has everything to do with the reason why it is darker looking. I used a different canner and I didn't have it sealed well. And anyway, long story short, it took longer because I had to stop it and then I had to seal it and go back. So I tell you that because that's why it was in the canner. That's why it looks darker, because it was in the canner longer. You see the cream on the top. Both of these are in the same batch. Others that I have done look lighter than this, and we have tasted the others, and this is just a fluke batch. It did seal and everything's good in that department, and I'm using this batch for cooking, and it is a little more like an evaporated milk idea. And these are the Superb lids, the wide mouth. And if I wanted to use it, I would just shake it up, and then I would use it probably for cooking or whatever. I do want to show you too, or tell you this, that this little X on here indicates that this is the second time I've used this lid, and it sealed just fine. Superb lids. So, but yeah, you could use this milk, canned milk for just, whatever, cooking. I probably wouldn't drink it, but I don't drink a whole lot of milk anyway. My family does. So it's nice to have on the pantry shelves. All right, what I'm going to do, we are about 24 minutes in, and I'm actually going to turn this up maybe like 1.5 dots, 2 dots on my little dial there. But it is still below medium, and I'm just, again, heating this up slowly. Hey y'all, while my milk is in the canner, I want to tell you that next week we're going to talk about making your own homemade country sausage. It is not hard at all. It is very, it can be very versatile, easy. It can even save you money, and we'll talk about all that next week. So just make sure you're subbed to the channel here and you've rung the little bell to get notifications, and that way you're not going to miss any content. Okay, I want to just let you know that it took over an hour to come up to the steam, and I did move it up to medium a little bit in. So now we are 6 more minutes of waiting for the steam and to release, and then we will put the weight on. Time's up. All right, now what we're doing now is we want this, again, to slowly reach pressure. I'm actually going to turn this down to just right below medium. And I want this to reach 10 pounds pressure 11 if you have to adjust your altitude. But anyway, 10 is what I typically can at for my altitude, so that's what I use. So 10 pounds. So I want this to slowly, that's the key too, to get up to 10 pounds pressure. And the way we do it slowly is just to not crank the heat up real high. Okay, once I get it to 10 pounds pressure, I'm actually, oddly enough, going to just turn it off. So that's right. It gets right up to 10 pounds pressure. Then and there, I turn it off. Let the pressure reduce naturally. And then we can take the canned milk out of the canner. So the trick of this is letting it all come to temp at the same time, from cool to the temp that it needs to be to release the steam and build the pressure, and then to turn it off. All right, we are finished. My timer over here is for a pie, so that's what you hear ticking. I've always got something going in the kitchen. All right, the pressure has reduced down to 0 naturally. So just take this off. We're good in that department. We are good to lift the lid where the steam escapes away from our face. All right, and if I'm not talking, you should be able to hear the closures of the superb lids. I do want to say, do you notice how white and creamy that is? And what I told you a while ago, that was kind of brown or caramelly, is because of my little leaving it in there too long. But this is what it should look like, just like milk. I have a product that's shelf stable. I know what kind of milk it is, where it came from. USA lids, USA jars. And that behind you is my bread machine. I have a lot of things going on right now. You hear that deep thud? Canned milk. There we go. Maybe you can try canned milk. If you already do can your milk, let me know in the comments. Love to hear about it. There you go. Superb canning lids. That deep thud tells me that, or a deep ping, if you will, tells me it's sealed. Thanks for watching. Count your blessings and do the best you can with what you have. I'll talk to you next time, friends.